Thanks, Mr. Swagel, for being with us again this afternoon. You testified just a few minutes ago that the CBO baseline had declined by, I believe it was $2.3 trillion as a result of the Fiscal Responsibility Act and the Further Continuing Appropriations and Other Extensions Act. Yeah. Which of those acts accounted for how much of that reduction in baseline spending?
So in a sense, it's the sum of all of those, because the Fiscal Responsibility Act put in place the caps, and then the continuing resolutions, in some sense, implemented those caps over the sort of extent, the subsequent periods. And so that's why it's the combination of all those things together where the 2.3 trillion, as you said, was the savings just from the FRA and the continuing resolutions.
So 2.3 trillion is not nearly enough, but it seems like a pretty good start. I'm just curious, when in America's history have we reversed that baseline by as much as 2.3 trillion?
It's certainly not in my time as director. This is my 5th year. And that was why we highlighted it. It was a noteworthy improvement in the fiscal trajectory. I can't think of the last time. Maybe, I just don't know. I'd have to go back and look at past baselines.
Do you think there has been a time in American history when we changed the baseline by that significant amount?
I mean, the baseline would change with changes in the economy, with changes in legislation. CBO's had trouble predicting recessions. And so when a recession hits or a financial crisis hits, the baseline changes typically for the worse. So it could be that's been the case. And I just don't know those past baselines.
One of the other things that really caught my attention in your report, really because of the political noise that I keep hearing about, the economy is just booming, everything's going well. But when I look at the collection of individual income taxes, I see a sharp decline between 2022 and 2023. And you cite that the biggest part of that is because of a decline in capital gains. I'm having a tough time reconciling a great economy and such a reduction in individual income tax because of capital gains. Can you help me understand the truth between the two of those?
I can, and it's a challenge for us in projecting revenues because families get to decide when to realize their capital gains and pay taxes on them. So we can see the stock market going up or going down and know that affects capital gains, but the relationship between the realizations and therefore the revenues is indirect because it depends on family behavior. We had extraordinarily high capital gains in 22, and then we said, look, they're going to come down in 23. It looks like they came down much more than we expected, and that's one of the challenges that we face in thinking about, well, what is our revenue projections in the future?
Do you see, or how do you see the collection of income tax on capital gains being an indicator of the condition of the economy?
It's an indicator in part that the changes in the equity market, the very strong equity market we had in 21 coming out of the pandemic, said something about people's expectations of the economy, but by far it's not the only indicator of the strength of the economy. But there is a relationship.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I yield.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank the